Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Check this out. This video is going to be what it would be like if Drake went to prison, because I know a dude just like Drake. When we was in prison, it didn't turn out good. The story is crazy. Sit back, enjoy the ride, and know that you at the Mecca. All right?
Keep it going, 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 keep it going. Mecca what? Mecca audio. Mecca what? Mecca audio. Mecca what? Mecca audio. Mecca what? Mecca audio. I like the way it's going now.
All right, I'm going to tell you about this Drake-like character, right? The dude came in there, he was from Alaska. He was a smooth dude. He was a caramel complexion. You know, them red boys think they cute, you know what I mean? And we in prison, he thinking he cute. And I'm wondering, what the hell is going on with this dude? So he comes in, and he had music out there in Alaska. He was doing his thing. He got mad females. He got pictures with him in the strip club, him with what they call them, Alaskan women. Who ever seen an Alaskan? And a Samoan. Yo, who the hell from Harlem, from the East Coast, ever seen or dated a Samoan? He had this Amazon Samoan, right? And he got these pictures with these big jewels on. He doing his thing. And he's the man. So everybody flocking to him. And then, you know, they put me in the cell with him. So I'm in the cell with him, and I'm listening to him tell the stories to all the dudes coming in, and I noticed the Crips start floating in. So I asked him, yo, you a Crip? And he said, nah, but my brother was. I said, why is all the Crips flocking around you? Where your brother at? He said, nah, my brother got, unalived out there in Alaska. I said, and you claiming Crip in prison? And he said, yeah, because that's what my brother is, so that's my bloodline. That's the way that go. I said, man, come on, dog. This ain't gonna end well. And he's like, nah, I got this. So now everybody coming in there, he goes to commissary. They give you a limit of $290. He spent the whole $290. He brings it back, and he lays all his food out on the floor, and he's separating his items, and but he's not putting anything in his locker. So I'm wondering, what the heck is he doing? So now I lay back in my bunk and I'm watching, and I see these Crips come in one at a time, two at a time. And as they coming in, he's handing them food. They all gave him lists of what to get from the store, And I'm like, yo, I don't say nothing. So at the end of all that, I look down, and he's putting something in his locker, and it ain't nothing but a soup, a mackerel, and a rice. He didn't even have a turkey log. He didn't even have a beef sausage, pause. It was no meat, pause. It was just a soup, tuna, and rice. And he just spent $290. So now I said, dog, you gonna live like this for the rest of your bid? I think he had like maybe 12 years, something like. He said, yeah, no, I'll get my stuff next week. The next week came, he go to the store, same thing happened. The next week came, same thing happened, right? So now he's calling home to all these different strippers, because when you come to jail, ain't nobody there holding you down like that. So he got all, except for the females. So he got all these different female strippers, and he's calling them. They sending him pictures. He getting mail every day. He getting pictures with them busting it out. I mean, so he's the man. So everybody's watching, and he's going to the commissary, taking care of everybody. But as he's doing that, everybody's plotting on him, and everyone sees it but him. So the rest of the jail, they're sitting back and they watching to see how it's going to turn out. So now he's supposed to go to the store next week, and now he owes a bunch of people, that he took their stuff from their store for whatever reason. And that's different than the soft, extortion that he's applying to himself. Soft extortion is when you look out for somebody when you don't have to because you scared of them. You see how you learn over here at the Mecca? So now he's soft extorting himself, and then he owes people. And by the time it come up and he goes to the store the first time, he owed like $500 and only had $290 that they allowed you to spend. So now the Crips that's pressing them, they come up in there. Of course, they want theirs. So by the time they get theirs, now it get close to the end of the night, and now the storemen and everyone else is coming, and they want theirs. Now he ain't got theirs. He telling them he gonna give it to him next week, you know. But he just gave away food instead of paying his debt. So dude's like, yo, dog, I need my money, you know? And he's like, nah, I'm gonna have it. And everybody know he always gets a little money sent in. But then now next week came and the girl didn't send no money. So now he ain't going to the store. He ain't buying the Crips nothing. He ain't paid his debts from last week. He picked up new debts this week. So now he about $1,000 in the hole. So now I'm looking at him right laying on the bed. I said, so what you gonna do, Sally? You know what I mean? He said, well, you got money because you loaned me some money. I said, man, I wouldn't touch nothing you dealing with a 10-foot pole because you heading to a graveyard. He said, oh, you bugging, you hating. I said, nah, I ain't hating. I'm just telling you like it is, you know? I said, you ain't getting no royalty checks from that music you doing, Mr. Drake. You know, you out there, you know, singing like Drake, giving away your money in the prison, you know? And the crazy thing is, the reason why I equate this to Drake is because this dude was from Alaska, even though it's a part of the United States, but it's not connected to nothing in the United States. And Drake is from Canada. So these are two brothers that, let's say, they come to the prison and now they're trying to get in where they're trying to fit in a new land because their country is not connected to this land. So, you know, he jumps in and joins the Crips. Do you think Drake would join the Crips because he's out in California? Put it in the comments. You think Drake would join the Crips? But anyway, right, let me get to the moral of the story, right? So the moral of the story, dude chilling. He ain't got no money to pay him and all that. So now the dudes from other cars is threatening him. So the Crips roll up on him and they trying to, you know, hold him down. But of course, they put a price on it. They like, yo, when your girl send that money next week, man, you got to give us that whole limit. But we gonna keep these dudes up off you know? So of course, you know, he agreed. He keep them up off him. The next week, you know, the money don't come. So they turn around now and they looking at him like he crazy. Like, yo, where the money at? Where the money at? You know what I mean? Ain't no money. Girl, stop writing. You know, everything slows down because no one is gonna let you use them forever, right? So now he's sitting there and a little young dude, they sent a young dude in the cell, right? They call that a torpedo. They sent a torpedo at him, right? That's like, you know how they fire the missiles and go hit Iran and all that. But they sent a torpedo at him. So a little young dude go in there and he goes in his locker and he takes out his soap, you know what I mean? And walks out the cell. And he's sitting there looking dumbfounded like, what just happened? And I'm laying back and I'm saying, this is only the beginning. So then 10 minutes later, somebody else coming in, they go, they take his shampoo out, they take out his toothpaste, and they walk out. Now, I'm looking at him like, yo, what are you gonna do, dog? You know? He said, nah, they only playing. I said, dog, they're not playing. He said, man, they only playing. I said, all right, I'm hating, right? Yeah, I'm hating just as much as they play. So now, dude come in there, and he tells him straight up, yo, I'm going on a visit in the morning. I ain't got time to iron these clothes. Go iron this for me. So they gave him the clothes, and he goes and he irons the clothes, right? And I said, dog, what are you doing? He said, nah, that's one of my Crip brothers. I'm looking out for him. He'll do the same for me. That's how we look out for each other, da-da-da-da. You know what I mean? I said, dog, this is only the beginning. So then now he's sitting there, and, you know, he irons the clothes, dude, you know, get ready to go on a visit. So he come in there, he said, yo, let me get some prayer oil. So he opens the locker to get the prayer oil, and he sees he got some nice Versace glasses on the shelf in the locker. So he took the glasses and said, yo, I got these, you know? And, you know, dude said, all right. And he walk out. He goes on the visit, he come back from the visit, and dude, and I'm laying down. I said, yo, visit been over an hour. You ain't bring your glasses back yet. Dude walking around with the glasses looking fly. I'm like, yo, dog, another hour will by. It's 2 hours, your glasses ain't come back yet, you know? And he said, nah, he gonna give them to me. So now it's lockdown time. So lockdown time, he goes to dude and said, yo, they get ready to lock in, can I get my glasses? Big mistake. He asked, can he get his glasses? Instead of demanding his glasses. We in prison. He said, can I get my glasses? We get ready to lock in. And I did one of these numbers. Oof. It's gonna get ugly. So dude said, yeah, matter of fact, come in the cell. So when dude go in the cell, he grabs a bag of laundry with his dirty underwears and t-shirt in it, right? And he tells him, yo, wash these for me because I'm going on another visit tomorrow, right? And can you believe he said, but it's like 20 pair of underwears in here. You only could wear one tomorrow. He said, yeah, but while you washing one, you might as well wash them all, And I looked at him when he came in the bag with the joint, and he's telling me about the exchange in the cell. And I said, what are you doing with those? He told me, I washed them. I said, yo, dog, you're not bringing another man's drawers in my cell. You know what I mean? I said, get that out, So now I made him take him out to go in the washroom sink to go wash them. But mind you, when he tried to bring him in was at night right before lock-in when he asked for his glasses and opened it up for it to go another one. So I made him leave him out and put him in a laundry room slop sink so he'd go wash him in the morning and be the Maytag. That's what we call him in New York State, the Maytag, because that was the big washing machine company back in the day. So he puts the joint down over there and he comes in the cell. The next morning when the joint opened up, I guess somebody seen him putting in there. Dude came and he came to the door and called him out the cell, and he wasn't even dressed yet. And he tried to tell the dude to come in, and I looked at dude, and dude said, nah, Unique don't like company in the cell, because me and him got in it because I wouldn't allow, them to come in the cell after they started going in his locker like that, and that was my way of protecting him, but he didn't see it that way, right? He looked at it like I'm trying to keep his friends away from him. I'm like, dog, these is not your friends. So he got the laundry in the laundry room, and dude comes, call him out the cell, takes him in the laundry room, and punches him in the face. Wow! I said, oh, man, it's on now. And dude said, yo, why you do that? He asked him why did he punch him in the face instead of just punching him back. Where they do that at? So dude said, man, this is what it is. You ain't got no money. You know what I mean? You done, your girl stopped sending you money. You've been faking. You ain't even no crip. We called back to Alaska and checked on you. Your brother wasn't no real banger. Your brother was a buster that caught a stray bullet. You know what I mean? And you in here and you trying to infiltrate us and act like you was one of us when you really, from now on, you are Maytag. You're doing the laundry. Whatever money you get, you spend it for us. And you're gonna hold all our knives, Now, when they tell him that, he come in the cell and he telling me what happened. And I said, dog, when they give you their knives to hold, you turn around and you put it in. You know what I mean? That's the end of it. That's the only way to make this stop. And he's like, nah, but they're my homies. They're my Crip homies. You can't strike Crip blood. I said, dog, they're not treating you like a Crip. You're not a Crip. You know what I mean? But right now, you an enemy. So either way you go to war, either your blood spill it is, And he reached up and he, started rubbing his face, where he got punched in the face. I said, what happened? You got something in your eye? He said, nah, he punched me in the face. I said, he punched you in the face? And then told you he's gonna give you their knives to hold? And you thinking about what you should do? Said, man, listen, pack your stuff, because you getting out of my cell right now. Because you put me in harm's way. Because in a minute, they're gonna feel they can come in here and come manhandle you, because they already put their hands on you. Meaning they'll come in here and try and drag you out. And even though me and you not homies, you know what I mean? You still a brother, a man in my cell, so I can't let no harm happen to you in my cell. That's why I stopped them from coming in my cell. After they started taking stuff out your locker. And he's like, man, so what should I do? I said, nah, it ain't what you should do. It's what you gotta do. He said, well, what I gotta do? I said, you gotta put your knife in one of them. And not the little torpedo they sent at you, because the torpedo wasn't the problem. The torpedo was just doing what the torpedo do. You got to get the one that pulls the trigger. Yo, but he's bigger than me. Even better, get a bigger, in Banky Pounds, get a bigger God you now. You know what I mean? Get a bigger Bethel hand. And he looked, and I seen him scratching his head. You know, so now I said, look, get your stuff, get out the cell. Either you go hit dude right now or you get out my cell. You know? He said, all right, man, I'm moving. You know, I'm going to see if I can move in with one of them. I said, you move in one of them, they're going to wind up and start, you know, taking your privates money. That's the next step. If they got any booty bandits with them, they're going to take your privates. You know, if you want to hear the story about how they took this dude, you know, privates, because the booty bandits was rampant too. You know, put it in the comments. But anyway, so he go out the cell, and next thing I know, he come back in the cell, and he got blood on his hands. I looked at him, I said, my nigga, about time you stand up for yourself, you know? So then, you know, all the Crips come running down there, and, you know, he in the cell, but now he fought for himself. So now I could hold him down a little bit, you know what I mean? So I tell him, yo, whatever he did, man, hold up. He coming out, y'all ain't coming in here with none of that. I said, wrap the knife up, get the knife ready. I'm giving him time to get armed. And you know what I mean? But you know, by talking to him, letting him know, nah, he coming out. You know? Right there, he's supposed to be wrapping the joint up to get ready. He's sitting on the bed like he expect me to fight them off for him. You know? And I looked down at him, and I just politely went over there and said, yo, dog, come on, get out, man. Man, he walked out in that hallway, they stomped him like he was a rodent, you know? And told him, go sing that tune. All right, we out of here.
Cheers, toast the crime.
Fresh out the can of 26, he back on the strip, get it back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Take a little gully posse and put it in hall. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. An Instagram page and a YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. Did not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was wine. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a raw enough town. Baby horn uptown, Dominican bust down. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being an operative. So take heed, homie, lend a ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours, so we can give back to the.
Cheers, toast the crime.